seconds. The shot clock. Maloria for 3.
Oh!
Osa!
The dagger.
No, Mark Cruz! Soberano, that's a 3.
Improbable
And
three.
that's good. Valencia. Oh! Here comes LJ. LJ Gonzalez. Count the basket. The step back 3. Yes!
Slips. Takes the shot. It's good! God! 6 seconds remaining. Gabo.
Too far.
Slips. Takes the shot. It's good! Knocking out his former team here in Palayan City.
What a finish!
The rest of the San Juan Knights advance to the next round. Soberano, that's a 3, and that's good. Colliar gets away and lays it in. Looking for Marquez, finishes on the other side. A nice pass inside. Raul Soyot will finish.
And Hesen Gabo. Manuel is free. Backs it in. Quick basket for Pangasinan. The road to supremacy stretches far and wide, 400 kilometers from Manila to the beautiful province of Abra, as 4 teams remain in the division, and in the end, only one will rule the North. And we're here live from the Governor Andres Bernos Memorial Gym in Bangued, Abra, as we kickstart the North Division semifinals here in the 7th season of the Maharlika Pilipinas Basketball League. And the Knights, a picture of consistency going up against a team who has really had a bumpy road in this playoffs. We have Orlan Wamar and Hesed Gabo reacquainting themselves in this series. Let's see which team will emerge victorious here in game number 1 of our North Division semifinals. That's our first game, Pangasinan Heatwaves going up against the San Juan Knights. And in our main attraction, the Abra Solidor Weavers will square off against the Caloocan Batang Kangkalu. Magandang hapon mga kalinga, Ken Panglinan with Coach Mike Perez. Napakagandang simula, no? Para sa ating North Division semifinals. How do you see this matchup playing out between Pangasinan and San Juan?
Well, one thing that you gotta consider, dalawang teams na ito had to go through a very difficult first round. No, double overtime first game para dito sa San Juan, and then a 3-game series with Pangasinan. I expect both these teams, having been well rested, to at least be very competitive, lalo na yung implications para sa kanilang season itong mga teams na ito.
At pinabati po namin yung ating mga manonood live on the official MPBL YouTube channel and also on Solar Sports, and live din po tayo ngayon on pusop.com. Let's bring in Miss Mika Abisamis. And Mika, alam mo, napakaganda no, na always when we travel to Abra, even the first game, ang daming tao agad between this series between Pangasinan and San Juan. How are they heading into this series?
Maraming salamat, Ken. Coach Mike, always excited to travel up north to Abra. No? As we nakikita naman natin, these are some of the most passionate fans of the country. But of course, for our first game para dito sa San Juan Knights, Coach Alex Angeles had the busiest last 2 weeks because none of us really knew no, who would win that war between Pangasinan and Nueva Ecija. Sabi niya, I really prepared for both teams down to that last shot of Hesed Gabo. Kasi hindi ko naman talaga alam kung sinong papasok. Kaya tignan natin ano, kung paano ba ang mga naging adjustments ni Coach Alex Angeles. But speaking of the Pangasinan Heatwaves, you know what? I have a little story for you, no? On my way back home from Palayan City in Game 3 of that series, I messaged Coach Gerson. Sabi ko, Coach, congratulations. And you know what his reply to me was? He said, thank you. On my way home to Manila watching San Juan versus Abra. Imagine ha, he was still in Palayan City but already scouting for San Juan. Ken and Coach Mike.
Buckling down to work. Ito si Coach Gerson. Maraming salamat, Mika. And well, Coach Gerson, alam niya, no? He has lost the last 4 matches against San Juan, dating back to that North Division semifinals. Pero silipin muna natin, Coach Mike, yung ating playoff bracket. 4 mouth-watering matchups in our division semifinals.
Oh, totoo. I mean, these matchups are very interesting, be it on the north or even on the south. But you do like, though, that Pangasinan is the only bottom team in the north to make it and get past the first round. Samantalang dito naman sa kabila, pag tinignan mo yung south, you're seeing Binyan as the lower-seeded team that actually got to the second round in the South Division.
Kaya naman, Coach Mike, ang tema natin for this series between San Juan and Pangasinan is reclaim or rise. And certainly for San Juan, a picture of consistency. Itong Pangasinan has risen to the occasion. But speaking of the San Juan Knights, again, their franchise player, Orlan Wamar, masasabi natin in the first round of the series, medyo spotty yung kanyang production, but you know very well that going up against a fellow versatile point guard in Hesed Gabo, makikita natin paano siya mag-bounce back dito for the San Juan Knights.
And just to give you a picture of how difficult that first round against the Pasay was, you look at his field goal shooting, that's 20% from Orlan Wamar, who only had 5 field goal makes in almost 60 minutes of action in those 2 games that they played for Pasay, and just shows you the kind of struggle and the difficult and the challenges that he had going up against the defenses put up by a Pasay. It would be very interesting though how he now bounces back against the Pangasinan in this series.
Very poor shooting indeed in that first round series, talking about Orlan Momar. And on the other side of the fence, Coach Mike, Hesed Gabo, nung elimination round naman, nahirapan siya. No? He was averaging below 8 points in that in the elimination round rather. Pero pagdating dito sa first round series against Nueva Ecija, he has really stepped up in including that series-winning shot, enabling itong Pangasinan to topple their arch rivals, the Nueva Ecija Rice Vanguards.
Well, who else would forget that game-winning shot by Hesed Gabo? But everybody should also remember that's a 50% shooting performance in the quarterfinals by Hesed Gabo. More importantly, he shot 3-point shooting niya was 50%. He's 7 of 14 from beyond the arc, and that just shows you his good recovery from a 30% shooting in game number 1 to an excellent, impressive shot making in game 2 and that game winner in game 3.
The number 7 seed, Pangasinan Heatwaves going up against the number 3 seed, the San Juan Knights. Game number 1. Let's go to Miguel Pere for the starters.
Magandang hapon mga kaliga and welcome to the Governor Andres V. Merinos Memorial Gym in Bangued, Abra for the 2025 Manny Pacquiao's MPBL Season 7 playoffs. It's Game 1 of the best-of-3 semifinals in the North Division between San Juan Knights and Pangasinan Heatwaves. Here are the starters. First, for the MPBL Season 2 champions, San Juan Knights. Starting at guard number 13, Royce Alforque. At center number 17, Aldrich Ramos. At forward number 7, Ron Dennison. Also at forward number 15, Arvin Gamboa. And at two-guard number 5, Orlan Wamar. The head coach for the San Juan Knights is Alex Angeles. Assistant coaches Jonathan Banal, Arby Mangas, James Ongpin, Nat Gregorio, Paulo Grospe, Jigs Quadamora, and PJ Maningan. Team managers Jun Usman. The team owner is Honorable Senator Jinggoy Estrada. Here comes the starting 5 for the Pangasinan Heatwaves. Starting at forward number 27, Jorge Napoles. Also at forward number 54, Bongalanza. At center number 28, the Komodo Dragon, Michael Mabulak. At guard number 8, Lawrence Victoria. And at one guard number 7, Hesed Gabo. The head coach for the Heatwaves is Gerson Gabiltes. Assistant coaches Noy Catalan, Jun Barzan, Florian Pineda, Ariel Season, Harold Nang, Joseph Gion, Dan Xavier, and June Medina.
Starting 5 for San Juan, Royce Alforque, Orlan Wamar, Aldrich Ramos, Ron Dennison, and Arvin Gamboa. Para naman sa Pangasinan, Hesed Gabo, Lawrence Victoria, Michael Mabulak, Bonga Lanza, and Jorge Napoles. Our game officials for this ball game, Crew Chief J. Castroverde, Umpire 1, J.R. Francisco, and Umpire 2, Brian Ramirez. Alternate referee is Richard Carpio. San Juan in white, Pangasinan in their dark threads. And we are underway. Game number 1 between the Heatwaves and the Knights. Alforque is guarded by Bonga Lanza. Orlan Wamar steps up for a free. No good. And the rebound controlled by Jorge Napoles.
Well, now if you're the Heatwaves, you're getting Orlan Wamar to try and make shot attempts from the outside. You're gonna like that because the shooting has not been so good so far. And inaabangan natin dito kung kailan ang balik nito Orlan Wamar sa shooting.
Pinapantayan niya ngayon si Bonga Lanza, who rises up, but it will pop out. Alforque, forward pass to Orlan Wamar. Denison jacks up a free. And the first basket belongs to the San Juan Knights.
And there's not really so much that you can do once that ball is on the corner. The first look really has to be a shot attempt, and Ron Denison just giving in to that situation para dito sa San Juan Knights.
Victoria dumps it down low to Jory Napoles, who scores underneath.
And there's a reason why itong Pangasinan is actually one of the top teams when it comes to offense this season. It really is because they get fouled a lot. At the same time, they share the ball a lot, very similar to how San Juan would play, a lot of ball in man movement.
Omar gets sticked by Bonga Lanza.
See this move right here by Lawrence, drawing that defense over by Gamboa, and just an easy find in Jory Napoles. And you love that Jory Napoles continues to contribute offensively para dito sa Heat Waves.
San Juan fresh off that sweep in the first round against the Pasay Voyagers. Shot clock winding down on the Knights. Ramos, that pass thrown away by the San Juan Knights. Napoles gives it up to Lawrence Victoria. This has been, for the most part, yung naging starting lineup no, ng Pangasinan since the start of the playoffs.
Diyan na komportable si Coach Gerson sa kombinasyon ng lima na yan. And ako, gustong-gusto ko dyan is yung start nito ni Lawrence Victoria. I feel at some point in a certain series, he is definitely going to break out for the Heat Waves.
So Vic Manuel has come off the bench in all of their playoff games so far. Napoles makes his move, turns around and scores.
And that is one of the reasons why with Vic Manuel coming off the bench, they are second when it comes to bench points at 46.2. Number one, of course, being San Juan Knights at roughly about 50. Just shows you, itong dalawang teams na to napakalalim ng bench.
Ramos, libre para sa tres. Mintis. Rebound, picked up by Lawrence Victoria. Pangasinan with a 1-point lead. More than 2 minutes gone by in the first quarter. Napoles in traffic. Gives it up to Galanza. Nice extra pass to Hesed Gabo. Corner pocket three is good.
That's the shot. And really just patience para dito kay Jory Napoles. Halos wala na mapuntahan no? Na-kick out lang yung bola palabas, papunta kay Hesed Gabo.
And I feel like Coach Mike, they've been really successful in the playoffs, no? Na halos lahat na touch yung basketball in their offense as Aldrich Ramos puts in that face-up jumper. 7-5, lamang ang Pangasinan ng dalawa.
I was fortunate to talk to Hesed Gabo earlier as they were doing their warm-ups and shoot-arounds. He said, ang kinaiba ng Heat Waves ngayon, they are learning when to pick their spots on the floor, when to take those shots. And mas komportable na sila sa isa't isa.
Bonga Lanza got fouled. 3-point shot brought to you by Extreme, your one-stop shop appliances.
Jory Napoles really just staying in control, and just the quick decision by Bonga Lanza to find in the corner the hero of the Heat Waves in that Game 3 win over Nueva Ecija. Hesed Gabo obliges.
When you look at how they were able to come out on top in game number 3, Coach Mike, they were down by 6. Heading into the last minute, Vic Manuel missed a couple of threes. And then Hesed Gabo made 2 free throws. And then on the other side for Nueva Ecija, Robbie Celis split his free throws. Naging 5 lamang. And then that 3-point shot by Vic Manuel, even though he missed a couple from the right wing, mahirap yung pasa ni Hesed Gabo. But he was able to dish out that pass to Vic Manuel. And then they were able to cut that lead down to 2. And then, yung sinasabi mong play ni Bonga Lanza where he was able to intercept that pass, go all the way for the layup. Naging tabla tayo doon, 78 all as Arvin Gamboa nails that jumper from 20 feet. Lamang ang Pangasinan still by 2 points, 9-7. And then nung tabla, Coach Mike, kung naalala mo, Vic Manuel gave up that useless foul.
Yes.
2 free throws kay Will Macaloni. But ang crucial doon, feeling ko, was the play of that timeout with 34 seconds left. Quick basket by Vic Manuel, 2-for-1 situation. And then that block by Jory Napoles, setting up that game winner by Hesed Gabo. It really all fell into their hands, talking about Pangasinan. But San Juan, off to a nice start as well. Ron Denison with 2 triples for a total of 6 points para dito sa Knights.
Yeah, a couple of good threes for Ron Dennison, and definitely yung series na yun, Ken, a lot of people will be talking about it over the years to come. Not only because of a beautiful 3-game series, but really just the history between those two teams. And ang kagandahan doon is at the top of the coverage, we were talking about how resilient the Nueva Ecija Rice Vanguards were, having to come back and claim game number 2, and they were really in a good spot to take game number 3, but things went differently and it went in favor of the Heat Waves only because they too were resilient.
So they're facing off right now against a San Juan Knights team that also likes to share the basketball. So that ball movement earlier leading to that 3 by Ron Dennison.
Well, a lot of the shots of San Juan right now really have come from the perimeter. There's very little of pick and roll action, and to me that's where Mike Calisan actually impacts the offense of the San Juan Knights. And without him, they are gonna have to be creative in scoring, just like this one from Aldrich Ramos. Really forced to take the shot from the outside despite the defense right in front of him.
Si Vic Manuel ay papasok na para sa Pangasinan. He will replace Joey Napoles. Also in for the Heat Waves, King Gortiza earning some minutes here.
Oh yeah, that one's interesting in my opinion, King Gortiza, because I feel defensively he's got a lot to offer for Coach Gerson Cabiltes in this series against San Juan.
Past the halfway point of the first period, Wamar splits the defense. Nice dump inside to Arvin Gamboa for the easy basket.
Just being crafty, Orlan Wamar splitting that nail defense, getting past 2 Heat Waves, and drawing that defense of Vic Manuel for that really good finish over and dumping it inside, and another 2 points for the Knights.
7-0 run for the San Juan Knights. Manuel, and it's an offensive foul called against Pangasinan.
Look at King Gortiza, he's saying that was a flop by Orlan Wamar.
Assist of the game is powered by 747 Live. Dito ka sa legit.
You can't get split, especially down on the nail. You got a couple of black shirts right in there, and really just a high pickup of that rock by Orlan Wamar. Enough to claim that space, got past the 2 versus 1, draw a secondary defender, and left it underneath for those 2 points.
Coach Gerson visibly heated after that last call against the Pangasinan Heat Waves.
Definitely really just wanting to be heard in that spot on that, what he felt was a flop by Orlan Wamar.
1 and done that time for San Juan. Maguliano gives it up to Joshua Fontanilla, who takes the free. No good. Rebound controlled by Ron Dennison.
Well, those are shots that Josh has got to make, especially as they try and make a deep playoff run this season.
Gamboa, crossover move, straight to the cup. A strong basket coming from Arvin Gamboa.
I think Coach Gerson is going to call a timeout. He definitely does not like those couple of nail drives right in the gut of their defense, and nobody rim protecting after that escape down the middle.
Play of the game is brought to you by 747 Live. Dito ka sa legit. Your game, your chance, your thrill. Only with 747 Live.
And that is not a replay. Earlier you saw Orlan Wamar do that, and in that instance it was Arvin Gamboa just splitting the middle and making that through.
Very evident, Coach Mike, no? Yung intensity na pinapakita ng San Juan early in this small game. And it has really made life uncomfortable so far para dito sa Pangasinan.
Yes, and tama lang naman yun. I think they're, in my opinion, they have better ball and man movement, even without Calisan, because you still have Maikes, you still have Soyud in there that's very capable. And let's not forget Arvin Gamboa. He's been such a good price find para dito sa Knights this season.
Bola na sundot. Muntik ng maagaw ni Orlan Wamar. The recovery by Bulanadi.
Skip.
Urtiza got bumped and got bailed out by that foul by Royce Alforge.
I thought King Ortiz had a skip the other side. You saw Vic Manuel down that right wing 3. He was waiting for that ball to be kicked his side. Never happened. Fortunate for King, he got fouled on his way to the cup.
Former EAC General at the line. LGR is the official outfitter of the MPBL. Itong San Juan naman, Coach Mike, like you've mentioned, galing sa isa ring interesting series, no? Against Pasay. You saw Encho Serrano, who will play later on for the Abra Solid North Weavers. And just going back to San Juan, Coach Mike, hindi rin naging madali, no? They blew a 25-point lead in game number 1.
Oh, yes.
Umabot ng double overtime. But in game number 2, I felt like they really turned on the switch, the physicality, and the way they dealt also with the firepower of the Pasay Voyagers. The way they held them to a really putrid shooting from beyond the arc speaks volumes to the defense they've shown in that series.
I think they really stepped up big and matching the intensity of the Pasay Voyagers in that game. Imagine, had the Voyagers won that game number 1, those 2 series would have gone 3 games.
Hindi ko maalala kung ano exactly yung 3-point shooting nila for the whole series, but I would imagine below 30%. I mean, talking about the Pasay Voyagers, yun talaga yung staple ng San Juan. I mean, the defense all season has been on point. And they're showing that right here, although JP Maguliano with a nice move down low, baba sa dalawa ang lamang ng San Juan, 14-12.
May kinakailangan nila si JP Maguliano magpakita ng ganyang klaseng aggressiveness ba pagdating sa sa offensive end. And you were talking about the 3-point shooting of combined by San Juan in that game. I think they shot way below 20%. Based on the numbers I'm seeing, they shot only 14% from 3. This is very unlikely for the kind of shooting team that San Juan is.
Pero yung Pasay, mas mababa pa nun eh. Pero
Right.
you remember that game number 1, they were shooting the lights out from beyond the arc, talking about San Juan. But again, when their offense suffered, yung depensa hindi bumitaw, no? And yung sinasabi lagi, no? Depensa, walang pahinga yan. As you see, Pangasinan score, it's now a 17-14 advantage for the Knights. Under a minute left here in the first period. Kanina pa yan, si Joshua Fontanilla at si Orlan Wamar. He's gonna be a marked man in this series, Orlan Wamar, that's for sure.
Oh, definitely. Without a doubt. I mean, anything that would go up against someone would definitely always have that look for Orlan Wamar. See that action right there on your left side, right on the top side of your screen, and really just Orlan Wamar getting into it.
17-14. Culyar, Soberano, Panganiban, Raul Soyud, and Dexter Marquez nasa loob na para sa San Juan.
And again, kung babalikan mo yung wala masyadong pick and roll action para dito sa sa San Juan Knights. It's really just straight up middle ball penetration after maybe some ball screen, but not so much of finding the roller and hitting them with those shot makes.
Both teams in penalty, so 2 free throws coming up for JP Maguliano. 35.4 seconds left here in the first quarter. Mintes yung unang free throw ni JP. You see here Real Cervantes and Jeff Panday. They will try to get an upset. Talking about Caloocan on the road. Kalaban nila mamaya ang Abra Solid North Weavers. Maguliano manages to sink in the second.
Chance for 2 for 1.
Culyar. Second foul called on Joshua Fontanilla.
Yeah, that's one thing with Joshua Fontanilla. I mean, he can keep up with the other guards, but man, you gotta defend without fouling. You understand? Depensa, ikaw ang inaasahan dyan eh. So, just stay in front. He's been staying right in front of every guy that he's defended, but once he extends that arm and he pumps that body with a little force, that definitely is going to end up in a foul.
Senator Jingoy Estrada with San Juan. 27.1 seconds left. Culyar misses the back end of his free throws. Tiza comes away with it for Pangasinan, who has a chance to tie or even take the lead to close out the first period. Nakasona ang San Juan dito. Maguliano, shot fake, drives, high off the glass and in. Still enough time para sa San Juan Knights. Pangasinan from 30 feet. And that will signal the end of quarter number 1. Where pretty much, as expected, Coach Mike, a back and forth affair between these two teams.
Oh, intensity, nagkakatapatan lang itong dalawang teams na to. It really started with the three-point shot making of Ron Dennison. I do believe he had a couple of threes so far in the first quarter, but Jory Napoles, including JP Maguliano, they were big in this first quarter. The middle has been very porous defensively for the Heat Waves. I'm sure that's something that they are going to talk about. But when you talk about shooting, both teams actually shooting about 50%.
Ito, medyo matagal-tagal na rin yung last meeting ng San Juan and Pangasinan almost 5 months ago, where San Juan was able to hold off Pangasinan 73-66.
Oh, overall team play offensively para sa San Juan. Samantalang ito naman Pangasinan, sinubukan bumalik defensively pero they ran out of time.
May maibalita muna tayo kay Miss Mika Bisamis.
I will break down to you Coach Alex Angeles' last 2 weeks. As I mentioned earlier, very busy nga itong nakaraang 2 linggo para sa kanya. Week 1, when they still didn't know who they were up against, puro conditioning daw, takbuhan, something they felt was their advantage in that Pasay series, yung lakas ng katawan nila, no? While other players were getting cramps here and there. Week 2, when he saw it was Pangasinan, he knew it would be a details-filled week, no? Scouting, analyzing a lot of logic, and here they are, no? This was Coach Gerson's reminder to his boys, by the way. They're big men, no? Yung big men ng San Juan can shoot compared to Nueva Ecija. And check out Gamboa so far. Ken, Coach Mike.
Yeah, definitely. And you saw, Coach Mike, how San Juan has really did their homework in holding itong Pangasinan to, well, maganda yung field goal shooting, but mostly yung mix, alam mo may challenge, no? And that's something that Coach Alex, alam mo, naalala ko yung first report ni Mika way back when the first game of San Juan, where they were really focused on defense. And then nag-evolve yan as when the games went on, as you see, King Gortiza score naman for Pangasinan, a bonus free throw coming up. I mean, yung evolution of San Juan every month up until this point has been really nice to see. But also, a sight to behold is King Gortiza earning some minutes and providing that spark for Pangasinan.
Yeah, that's the thing that they need from guys like Josh Fontanilla and King Gortiza. But going back to your point about how the San Juan Knights have really evolved from offense to defense, dami nilang in-experiment. Nag-point guard si Orlan Wamar, purely offense, and then later on, naintindihan nilang kailangan tumabaho rin tayo defensively. And this change defensively has, you see that good finish right there by Nico Panganiban. This change defensively is, I feel, came just at the right time as they head into the playoffs, which to me, a lot of defense are won titles if you play a lot of challenges and may pahirapan mo yung kalaban mo.
At lalo nga ngayon, alam niya, kalaban niya sila Coach Gerson. It's gonna be a detail-oriented series. Magiging interesting din, Coach Mike, though, if we will see that 3-guard lineup for San Juan, as that Fast Brave game is brought to you by Extreme X Pop Personal Karaoke Speaker Everyday Karaoke. This is Nico Panganiban, finger roll finish. Just going back, nakita natin, no, halos magkakasabay madalas si Soberano, Orlan Wamar, si Culyar in that Pasay series. We see that here against Pangasinan.
Ako, personal opinion ko, I think as soon as JC Culyar started joining the roster of San Juan, that's when they started turning it up defensively, lalo na sa position ng mga guardia. Kasi, no question, AC and Orlan Wamar can definitely score, but defensive guard right there, JC Culyar, proves big defensively para dito sa San Juan Knights.
Isa ang labang ng San Juan, 22-21. Mike misses. Magsanhan. He will charge in, and he will be whistled with an offensive foul.
Yeah, I think they're gonna challenge this. Well,
Access to the game is powered by 747 Live dito ka sa Legit.
finding that short corner. Once you're down there, deep in on the baseline, somebody's got to go in front of the rim, which is exactly what Jay Collado did, offering that spot for him to receive and shoot for the Heat Waves.
Coach Gerson wants to challenge that last foul call on Harvey Pagsangan. We'll see if he's right sa aming pagbabalik.
Upon review, the challenge was unsuccessful. Ball on the floor stays. Offensive foul on number 9.
Unsuccessful challenge by Coach Gerson Cabildes.
I'd love to see that. See that drive? Underneath. Oh. Well, maybe a little move towards the right in the path of Harvey. But I don't think that was enough. I really felt that was more offensive. Oh, sorry, blocking.
Coach Gerson just got teed up. Soberano will shoot the technical free throw. Who himself had a marvelous series against the Pasay Voyagers. Battle of wits din, no? Coach Alex, Coach Gerson.
Oh, yeah. Alam mo, kanina nga nung nire-report yung preparation na hindi pa alam ni Coach Alex kung sino yung mga kalaban niya. Just shows you the dedication this season for Coach Alex Angeles para dito sa San Juan Knights.
Tugtatan matched up against Vic Manuel. Interesting matchup here. Soberano, catch and shoot free. Lista mo na.
Well, he talked about his three-point shooting in the first round against Pasay. He was 8 of 14 in game number 1 and he was 3 of 7 for game number 2. 50% shooting for AC Soberano. Volume shot attempts yan, ha? Hindi yan konti yan. Maramihan tira yan. And he's just that good from beyond the arc.
Three-point shot is brought to you by Extreme, your one-stop shop appliances.
And indeed, that was a good matchup down the low block. But once you see that shooter making himself free on a spot that is one pass away from 3, you got to give it up. And Ray just did the right thing.
Vic Manuel making his first free throw. Coach Alex, Senator Jinggoy having a bit of a laugh at the sidelines. Vic Manuel, he was scoreless in that first half in game number 3, but came alive, particularly in that fourth period where he scored 13 of his 15 points, including that quick free and that quick basket off that timeout that really helped Pangasinan come away on top against Nueva Ecija.
Ako gusto ko dun yung talagang decidido na manalo kasi he missed a couple of threes and that is going to be a holding foul this time, I feel. I think that's going to be on Ian Melencio as he was behind JC Colliar on that grab for that rebound. Yung dalawang minintis na three-pointers ni Vic Manuel, kung may hinahinang nilalang ka, hindi ka natitira, you'll pass it up. Understanding that, season's on the line, but the guy just took it and made it.
Well, tinatawag, Coach Mike, na pero ito may foul. Tinawag kay Ian Melencio. Hindi siya nagpatinang, dalawang mintis. Did not get discouraged. Some would say, baka kapal ng mukha, nagmintis ka na ng dalawa.
Pero gano'n naman talaga ang shooter, ganyan kailangan, di ba? The best shooters in the world really forget about the previous misses. Ito yung konting hatakan dyan sa elbow. This might be the most physical group of bigs you might see in one series. Well, Caloocan's gonna be in there later, pero kakaiba rin ng nito sa loob itong mga bigs ng ng dalawang teams na ito.
Alam mo, Coach Mike, sa dami ng serye natin na that first round, you just have to go back to that quickly. 3 double overtime games. This free throw of the game, by the way, is brought to you by Extreme Appliances. Ang subok at kumpletong appliance brand ng Pilipinas. The intensity off the charts. That was just the first round. And then here in the second round, you have a lot of interesting matchups, including these two games, San Juan versus Pangasinan. Later we'll have Abra versus Caloocan. Pagdating naman sa South Division, Quezon versus Gensan, and then Batangas. Kalaban naman ng Binyan.
And if there is one person in the entire MPBL that understood the intensity of those double overtime games, I'd like to say it has to be you, Ken. You were in all those double overtime games, right? Pasay and those two others. Pero ibang klase talaga yung first round na yun. The guys really just refusing to lose and wanting to get that crucial win.
Galanza na ipasok yung kanyang unang free throw. Bong Galanza, the way he was able to anticipate that pass, deflecting it, keeping it inbounds, and going straight to the cup.
That was actually a risk that he took because right there on the weak side corner was Byron Villarias. And so he trusted his length and athleticism to be able to recover back, which is exactly what he did.
Ito din, nagawa niyang ma-force itong San Juan into an 8-second backward violation.
And don't you just love it when offensive players play a lot of defense? And you love that in Bong Galanza. And he's been just, you know, that step up is big defensively for Bong Galanza.
Cabo is back in, playing together with Ian Melencio. That's gonna be a key point in this series, Coach Mike, because we didn't really see much of that duo in the backcourt in the first round against Nueva Ecija na magkasama si Cabo at si Ian Melencio. But Orlan Wamar, nobody able to pick him up, and he was able to score easily San Juan with a 4-point lead.
And really, to me, that's a matter of matchups. I mean, you have two really good guards, and you have to counter that. Si Jory Napoles going on the low block and scoring once more. I mean, you know, Ian versus Orlan, Hesed versus AC doesn't get any better than that in this series.
28-26. Wamar got whacked.
Oh, he
as
did.
He made his move.
He did. Papasok pa lang papunta sa elbow, tinamaan eh.
Fast break of the game is brought to you by Extreme X Play on-the-go speaker. Take your music anywhere.
And then nobody checking on Orlan Wamar. That was, you know, just an airway clear for him to take off.
Wamar really aggressive. Nathan with 5 on their shot clock. Finds Orlan Wamar. High arcing free. Ramos secures the offensive board, giving them another possession.
And that is why his three-point shots percentage is lower because he's getting defended. See those long closeouts, but turnover right there for the San Juan Knights. And opinion ko, yun ang isa sa mga reasons kasi talagang binantayan rin naman siya ng Pasay, di ba? He was, to your point, a marked man in terms of shooting and scoring for Orlan Wamar. Kaya anong ginawa niya? Bumawi sa rebounds, bumawi sa steals. He, you know, did that defensively to contribute for the Knights.
Past the halfway point of the second frame. Cabo, no-look pass. Extra pass. Galing kay Napoles. Nahanap niya sa ilalim si Ian Melencio.
And that is the second time in this game that they've tried to milk that mismatch, so to speak, between Orlan Wamar and Ian Melencio. They felt that Ian can take on Orlan, and so, you know, just making himself available once again. Orlan couldn't do anything about that.
And another tied ball game at 28 apiece. We'll be back after the short break.
Kickstart your journey with 1,500 passes free bet and 300 free spins. Exclusive rewards on your first 3 deposits. What are you waiting for? Your flight to big wins is ready. Board now. 747 Live, dito ka sa legit.
Gixxer fan of the game, born for greatness. Happy to have you with us here at the Governor Andres B. Bernos Memorial Gymnasium. Dito po sa Bangged, Abra. Kung saan ang Abra Solid North Weavers, tampok mamaya. Kalaban ang Caloocan, Batang Kangkalu. Ganda ng turnout natin. No?
Oo. Last time na lang dito tayo, may pasok din yun di ba? Because there's a school outside of the venue.
Na actually, dito tayo mismo sa
Nasa
school.
loob mismo. Nasa loob mismo pala. That's right.
Mabulak got tagged with a foul. Villapando will shoot to the line for 2 shots.
Now, Mike Mambulak's gonna extend himself, I mean, defensively, if he's gonna go up against Villapando, because I feel, you know, speed-wise and a lot of activity inside rin itong si Villapando. Pero once na naging heft na ang labanan, may advantage naman dyan si Mike Mambulak.
By the way, we've talked about, Coach Mike, how San Juan is gunning for their 6th straight North Division Finals appearance. But did you know that here in the North Division Semifinals, they've been undefeated. 10-0. Wala silang talo, no? Lahat nung nakalaban nila in the North Division Semifinals, na-sweep nila. You see here, Commissioner Kenneth Doremdes, Head of Security Rudy Distrito, Head of Operations Emer Oreta. At tandaan mo, last season, na-sweep nila yung Caloocan. The year prior to that, they were able to also beat Nueva Ecija in 2 games. That was Coach Gerson.
Yes.
After a championship, they got dethroned that year.
Well, that was the painful one, Ken, yung 2023 na yun para kay Coach Gerson.
I mean, San Juan has been a model of excellence ever since they joined the league 7 years ago.
And you got to give credit to Coach Randy Alcantara and you know, the coaching staff. That really is where the foundation has been for the Knights. And every guy and every player that comes in would have to embrace that culture, accept that system, and understand this is a really good team and a club that you're going into when you get into the San Juan Knights.
And the thing with them, Coach Mike, is whatever seed they finish in the regular season, it doesn't really matter. Naging number 6 seed sila. Nagawan pa rin nila ng paraan umabot sa North Division Finals.
And I feel a lot of that we've been talking about culture, but really it's the management and you know Coach Alex Angeles and different coaches and Sen Jinggoy, you know, backing up the program of the San Juan Knights. And if you're a player in this club, all you gotta worry about is play.
Victoria nagbabalik para sa Pangasinan. So this was the starting unit they rolled out. Talking about the Pangasinan Heatwaves here.
Love this play.
Pongalanza! Able to leave Ken Villapando in the dust.
Well, they started out with a little dry action of a triangle entry on the left side of the floor, eventually ending up with a shuffle cut by Bongalanza, putting him in a spot where he can actually score good.
Gamboa
Travel.
lost his dribble. Ito yung gusto mo kay Jory Napoles, no? There were a lot of times he got beat, but he was able to recover in that series against Nueva Ecija. This play of the game, though, is brought to you by 747 Live. Dito ka sa legit, your game, your chance, your thrill, only with 747 Live.
Rock that baby to sleep. Naiwan yung depensa ni Villapando doon. Claimed that first step going the baseline side, and everything just went well for the Heatwaves.
Kamang sila ngayon ng isa, 13-29.
No help, solo side. There you go.
Mabulak drew a foul against Arvin Gamboa.
Now, this is where the Heatwaves are really good. Down on the low block. You have multiple players that actually play with their backs to the basket. Mabulak, even Hesed Gabo, Vic Manuel. One might say even Bongalanza and Jory Napoles. Heck, even the guards, Ian Melench, can do that.
Mabulak has struggled from the free throw line this season. This ulit yung unang free throw.
Yeah, indeed. And even in the first round, you know, he was shooting only what 42% by average. And in the last 2 games, at the very least, he was able to make 50% of his shots from the line. And you kind of expect more from Mike Mabulak in the playoffs.
Gamboa, binigay muna kay Ron Denison. Pass anticipated by Hesed Gabo quickly to Mike Mabulak. Will not force it. Gives it up to Lawrence Victoria. Back to Michael Mabulak. Layup. Hindi papasok.
Well, that was very makeable shot for Mike Mabulak. Nabother lang ng konti nung depensa
Baseline jumper by Viloria is off. Another rebound by Mabulak. 31-29.
They want to clear that corner.
Mabulak at the post again. Likes this matchup against Arvin Gamboa. Kick out pass, Victoria. Drives high off the glass and in.
And Mike Mabulak definitely liking that play. He drew that secondary defender, Ron Dennison, enough to give up that ball over to Lawrence Victoria, who goes right side jab step, finishes before that defense of Arvin Gamboa could even get to him.
And extending this lead to 4 points, forcing the hand of Coach Alex Angeles to call timeout. By the numbers, Coach Mike, how do you see San Juan and Pangasinan here heading into the series?
Well, I think the notables there would be you have your third best offensive team in Pangasinan and your third best defensive team in the San Juan Knights going at each other. And, you know, what gives? Sino ang bibigay? And it really just boils down to preparation between the two coaches, Coach Alex Angeles and Coach Jerson Cabiltes, who, in my opinion, you know, are really prepared heading into this series.
We're almost a full house already inside this gym. And
Yeah.
we're not even done here in the first half between Pangasinan and San Juan.
This is just how much basketball loving this place of Abra is.
Matik yan para kay Aldrich Ramos from the left baseline.
Yun naman ang kalmadong nakukuha mo kay Aldrich Ramos, yung mga short corner na jumpers na ganyan. Far cry from, you know, a lot of intensity on the moves of Mike Calisan and Jexter Marquez.
Coach Mike, I don't know if you agree with this. As Pangasinan will try to beat the buzzer, Gabo misses on that three. Both teams have been shooting really well, and yet we have a low-scoring affair. And on the floor for San Juan, we got Orlan Wamar, Rainian Viloria, Aldrich Ramos, Ron Dennison, and Arvin Gamboa. What do you think is the trend so far here in the first half between these two teams?
Well, I think it's really defense. I mean, you're seeing only what, a combined 5 points in terms of fast break between these two teams. What it tells you is that pag naka-rebound yung kabila o nag-finish man yung kabila, nakakababa kagad sa defense. We've seen a lot of fast breaks stopped by San Juan na nakakababa kagad yung mga puti nitong San Juan against the fast break of the Heat Waves. Samantalang ganun rin naman para dito sa Heat Waves. And I feel the defense has stepped up, lalo na nung kaninang mga early dribble middle drives na madaling nakakalusot itong San Juan. Na-adjust na yun Coach Jerson para dito sa Heat Waves.
And also both teams are forced to execute in the half court.
Agree. And there's been very few fouls called in my opinion. There's only a total of 21 fouls in the first 2 quarters. And really guys just getting in there and making it difficult for anyone who will try and score over them.
34-31, Pangasinan holds a 3-point lead. 40 seconds remaining here in the second quarter. San Juan with the possession. Gamboa. The switch, they go to Orlan Wamar. That's yet to find his groove. Pocket pass, that was intercepted. Rare fast break opportunity for Pangasinan, and they take advantage with Bonga Lanza laying it up and in.
Bonga Lanza has been exceptional for the Heat Wave so far. I mean, first game of this series, first quarter, or first half rather, did well as well in the last series against Nueva Ecija.
Time winding down here in the first half. A second remaining. Dennison will not get off a shot. And that does it here in the first 2 quarters, where both of these really talented and experienced teams doing it out in the first 20 minutes of game action. And boy, it has really lived up to the billing. This game number 1 between Pangasinan And San Juan at the half though, it's the Heat Waves up by 5 over the Knights, 36-31.
Lahat ng stats, talo tayo. One thing they cannot beat us is our heart. Because we keep on playing until the final buzzer. Don't be overwhelmed with this win. The goal is to have 10 wins. We only made 2. Now we're gonna face a tough task facing San Juan, who has been in the Northern Finals each year, every year. It's time to rise up, guys. It's time to show the MPBL and everyone that Pangasinan is already here. Pare. Okay?
Unang-una pa lang, QC pa lang kami. Hanggang ngayon, Basilan, Nueva, tapos ito nga sa Pangasinan, sobrang saya ko na kasama ko pa rin siya pa rin yung point guard siya. Siguro pagkakataon na namin bumawi ni Gapo, gagawin siguro namin yung best namin ngayong game na to upang makapawi sa San Juan.
Nagawa namin ni Kuya Jay, I think it's God's grace and siyempre through hard work. Hindi rin naman namin tinatry na gumawa ng ganong klaseng record, pero siyempre na-instill lang sa amin siyempre nila Coach Gerson, yung mga former coaches din namin na you always try to win the game.
Since season 3, when they were with Basilan, Jay Collado, Hezet Cabo, and Coach Gerson Cabiltes, proven and tested already, and they continue on their journey here with Pangasinan as they hold a 5-point lead over San Juan at the half, 36-31. Please break down the first half, Coach Mike.
Well, overall, it's really good shooting for both these teams. Nangyayari dito parang points per possession ito na ang daming 3-point makes para dito sa San Juan. They were 5 out of 10 from the outside, but in terms of perimeter shots and makes and free throws, advantage dyan itong Pangasinan, and really San Juan going to their defense. You talked about this earlier. They were able to, they got forced rather into 11 turnovers, to which Pangasinan got 11 points out of it. So yun yung mga pinanggalingan ng puntos nitong Pangasinan Heat Waves, and a lot of their scoring have really come inside the paint, and I mean inside the paint, because only a couple of shot makes from the outside, 1 3-point make and 1 non-paint 2, yun lang ang na-shoot sa labas nitong Pangasinan Heat Waves.
Arvin Gamboa leading the way with 9 points. AC Soberano has 7. Ron Denison with a couple of threes has a total of 6 points para sa San Juan Knights. Samantala sa Pangasinan, Bongga Lanza, who struggled shooting the ball for the entire season, has a total of 8. Para naman sa Pangasinan, sila ang labang ngayon ng 5 puntos laban sa San Juan. And we start the third period, San Juan with the basketball.
And the point that I was trying to drive at, talking about yung shot chart kanina, Ken, is that the San Juan Knights are scoring with a lot more variety compared to the Pangasinan Heat Waves. I mean, half of their perimeter makes have actually come from the perimeter, and half of that really coming inside the paint. And so that to me would make the defense of the Heat Waves a little bit more busy here in the second half.
Slight change in the starting unit for Coach Gerson. Alin Bulanadi, or actually Bulanadi, replacing immediately to si Bongga Lanza after picking up a foul as he misses from beyond the arc. The rim run by Maikes, nice pass, but a recovery by one unlikely of sources there in Lawrence Victoria.
They gotta take it.
Bulanadi though, back-to-back misses. Aldrich Ramos and Dexter Maikes earning a nod to start off the third para naman sa San Juan.
Long run.
Wamar, baseline drive. The reverse layup is good.
Oh boy, Orlan Wamar literally has to lead for his points. He's 2 out of 5 right now from the field. Has not made a 3. He's got a couple of makes from the perimeter, from the paint rather. And it really just shows you that everybody's marked Orlan Wamar as a potent guy para dito sa San Juan Knights.
Napoles counted plus a foul. And he has a chance to extend the lead to 6.
You know how players really just improve along the way? And that's just been, you know, how crucial the development offensively of Jory Napoles have been. I talked about it early this season, but I felt if Jory Napoles is going to perform the Manila version of Jory Napoles, it's going to be big for the Pangasinan Heat Waves. And so far, Coach Gerson is earning that harvest right now with Jory on the floor.
lalo nung tail end of the season, Coach Mike, nahanap talaga niya yung rhythm niya. Ito si Jory Napoles.
Tsaka yung kumpiyansa, Ken, no? Napakahalaga para kay Jory, no?
Protecting a 5-point lead are the Heat Waves. The number 7 seed against the number 3 seed, the San Juan Knights. 2 minutes gone by here in the third period. Shot clock
Nice
winding
pass.
down. Napoles open free. Flanks off the rim.
That's a nice pass by Hesed Gaboba and a good look for Jory Napoles.
Wamar, pull-up jumper off the glass. No good. But he was able to draw a foul against Hesed Gabo.
And kung ikaw ang Heat Waves, gusto mo yung ginagawa nyo ngayon defensively against Orlan Wamar. You're not making him shoot threes. You're really practically making him into a dribbler instead of a shooter.
Wamar has struggled at the line in these playoffs, much to the chagrin of Senator Chingoy Estrada.
Oo, isa na yun sa mga pet peeve ni, ni Sen Jinggoy.
LGR is the official outfitter of the MPBL. Ano ba pet peeve mo, Coach, pag nagko-coach ka?
Yun
Coach
din,
Mike,
free
yun
throws
din, free
din.
throws din.
Because they're supposed to be free. You have to be very good at it.
Ulanadi, 3 misses from downtown to start off the third. Has really struggled shooting the basketball in these playoffs.
Diyan, medyo tatrabaho talaga si Jory Napoles dyan against Maikes because Maikes, little bit undersized pero the way that he plays is like a Mike Kalisaan 2.0, you know?
Oo.
Tibay sa loob, kaya makipagbanggaan, very active on his feet.
Maikes sets his feet, fires, can't nail it from beyond the arc.
Again, guys in white going back down on defense so wala masyadong fast break na nangyayari talaga.
Sa loob, Victoria, pass a bit off target but Gabo able to recover, passing it up to Mike Mabulak.
I love that Mike Mabulak actually took that shot. That is definitely Mike Mabulak country. And if you're Mike, you have to understand the defense is drop coveraging on this favorite spot of mine. I gotta take it.
Masyadong malakas yung tres ni Arvin Gamboa.
Same for this guy right here.
Pangasinan, despite shooting just 10% from beyond the arc, they have dominated down low. Mabulak though can't put in that shot. Alforque will pull it back out to Dexter Maikes. Na kay Orlan Wamar. Wamar crossover against Gabo. Steps back for a free. It will roll out. That was halfway down.
Nawala kasi mga catch and shoot situation para kay Orlan Wamar. So he really has to create if he wants to make threes.
They've been feeding Mike Mabulak. And that time, after battling down low with Maikes, able to draw a foul, the 4th foul against Dexter Maikes.
And that might be the plan, which is why they got him, Mike Mabulak very active. In the last 3 possessions, every time Mike Mabulak got involved. Sure, he missed that shot earlier for fader going right, but you like that he took that shot.
Let's remember, for San Juan, they're still missing the services of Mike Kalisaan,
Yes. Who, when they met in June 28, was actually the leading scorer. He scored, only 11 points in that game, but other guys stepped up big from the bench, which helped them get that win.
Raul Soyod has yet to make an impact here in game number 1. Ramos, straight away free. Still no go.
Well, Nico knew he blew that read. He already had Soyud sealing underneath. We got to stay cool now, both these guys. You're 2 valuable pieces for your respective teams.
Pero kita mo yung ginagawa ni Mike Mabulak. It won't reflect in the stat sheet. But the way he's been working hard down low.
The way that he planted his arm right on the chest of etong si Aldrich Ramos, if only to be able to seal him.
Free throws also have been kind to Pangasinan in these playoffs. Out of attempts, Manuel facing up, now backing down Raul Soyud. No foul whistle. So we play on. San Juan with a basketball down by 7. Alforque. They go to the post. Raul Soyod turns around. Nice drop step to lay it up and in.
Well, Mike Mabulak knew he was in trouble, so that drop step happened. He was asking for a help down on the low block, on the low side rather, but nobody came in.
Mabulak, the cut and the basket. How about Mike Mabulak here in the third period?
Exceptional third quarter for Mike Mabulak, if you ask me. I'm sure if his son Kyle is watching right now, ang dami niya mapipick up sa dad niya in this match.
Magkaiba ng laro yun eh. Si Kyle, kaliwete na do it all forward.
Tsaka ano, iba rin yung handles. Not to say na hindi maganda handles ni Mike Mabulak, pero iba rin ang handles ng batang yan eh.
But certainly, giving inspiration si Mike Mabulak. Assist of the game is powered by 747 Live dito ka sa Legit.
Love that read by Vic Manuel. Did not force it. He actually had that defense giving him that gap. He could have taken that shot, but understood that that dive by Mike Mabulak was the better shot to make.
Bongga Lanza tag with a foul. Let's check in with Mika.
Just a story on some franchise players of these two teams. This Wamar-Gabo matchup was born in 2022 when they faced each other in the division finals as San Juan and Nueva Ecija players. Naalala ko, sabi ni Gabo sa akin noong mga panahon na yon, hahabulin ko si Wamar hanggang parking lot ng Phil Oil. Moving forward to today, na-miss daw ni Wamar ang matchup na ito, no? As Pangasinan did not make it to the playoffs last season and Gabo joined the PBA immediately after they won a championship in 2022. So sabi ni Orlan sa akin kanina, ngayon hahabulin ko naman siya hanggang Manila. Abra to Manila. These two guys have hearts of champions. Definitely not a walk in the park for any of them here tonight. Ken, Coach Mike.
Ba, Mika, matindi-tinding cardio pala mula 3 years ago for Hazel Gabo but Orlan Wamar. But seriously though, I mean, it's been an iconic matchup at that point guard position. That Orlan Wamar, Hazel Gabo tussle. 3 years and still going strong. And these two players, they could be the key to this series for both San Juan and Pangasinan.
Yeah, what do pundits say? Iron sharpens iron. And so these guys have really been, in my opinion, down the guard spot, a lot of battles going on between those two. And ma-pride din yung bawat isang yan. Hindi rin basta magpapatalo yan. At pag may ganun kang klase ng guardia at player, yun ang gusto mo sa komponan mo.
Vic Manuel got past Raul Soyud. Soyud no choice but to give up that foul.
Vic Manuel is not so quick on his feet, but those long strides allows him to get past the defense to finish with those scoop shots, ano?
Saan gusto mo kay Vic Manuel, Coach Mike? He has really bought in to the system of Coach Jerson. I mean, earlier in the season, as you see his averages in the regular season, halos hindi naman Coach Mike nalalayo eh. 13.7 points in the elimination round, 14 points per contest in the quarterfinals. But the major difference that doesn't really reflect the stat sheet is kung paano yung nakukuha yung puntos niya lately para dito sa Pangasinan.
Oh, totoo yan. At saka early in the games, I don't think he takes a lot of shots. He allows his teammates to get in there. At pagka hindi na makascore ang mga kampi niya, saka na siya pumapasok, saka na siya gumagawa. Which is very similar to what happened in that three-point make in that crucial game number 3 versus Nueva Ecija.
He throws the ball away though on that possession. But again, he was starting majority of their games at the start of their season where they struggled a bit. Dito sa playoffs, all 4 games coming off the bench, and yet you see him still performing at a high level for the Heatwaves.
Yun naman ay kumpiyansa na sa sarili niya at sa experience niya. He's been through a lot of battles. And let's face it, kaya niyang i-pace din yung sarili niya. Hindi siya full blast ahead kagad every game. He understands, when to turn on it and a notch up and where to let the others shine themselves in a game.
Si Raul Soyud, unti-unti nabubuhay dito. 4 points here in the third quarter. Naibaba ng San Juan ang lamang ng Pangasinan. 5-point lead. Under 3 minutes left here in the third quarter.
Not even Nico Panganiban could get to that finish right side. There you go.
Maguliano able to intercept the pass. It's an unsportsmanlike foul called against San Juan.
Yeah, and they didn't have to review that because some of the old heads would call that the old man foul because you're not going to be able to chase the offense that has actually stolen that ball away from you, and so you got to give it up for a foul. Dami ka nakikita niya sa mga pickup games, but you know, in here, you can't allow that, and so that's automatic unspo.
Coach Mike, tabla tayo nung natapos tayo ng first quarter, but you feel like it's going a little bit to Pangasinan's favor from the second quarter all the way to this point. Lamang sila ngayon, 43-37.
Yes, because the outside shooting has actually slowed down. Pag tinignan mo yung third quarter, puntos nila lahat nasa paint eh. Half of their makes have really been from the outside in the first half, let alone yung 5 3-pointers na nagawa nila. And so, to me, if they don't make their shots from the outside, they are really just doing a lot of favor on the defensive efforts of itong Pangasinan.
And they've managed to hold San Juan to 0 out of 8 shooting from beyond the arc in this quarter after going 5 out of 10 in the first half. Pagsanhan fires a free, no good. He is joined by Ian Belencio, JP Maguliano, Vic Manuel, and Bong Galanza.
And exactly to your point, Ken. And so, at the end of the day, if you're the Knights, you got to make your shots from the outside. Because if you do, that opens up the middle lane for the pick and roll action, and a lot of opportunities.
Itong free throw na ito, din sa ating Extreme Appliances ang subok at kompletong appliance brand ng Pilipinas.
Now, to my opinion, this is where you miss a Mike Calisaan. Because Mike Calisaan on the middle ball action, when he gets that ball on that short roll, he has the option to go directly for a shot or spray it out to his corner shooters. Right now, we've never seen that action so far from the San Juan Knights.
Kasi kung titignan mo yung mga big men ng San Juan, iba-ibang skill set din eh.
Iba-iba, tama. At ito parang tinatapatan na lang nila yung match-up nitong Pangasinan Heat Waves. Right now, you have Soyud and Hugnatan right there in the middle, on the low block rather, to match up against Vic Manuel and JP Maguliano. But if JP starts running the other way, that should be advantage on the 4-spot length of the floor over to the Heat Waves.
And Pangasinan, for the entirety of the season, Coach Mike, they haven't really been a consistent team on the defensive end. But yet here, patapos na tayo ng third quarter, San Juan only has 37 points.
Correct. And to your point, they allow 7 more points actually on the defensive end compared to San Juan. And so, babalik ka dun sa, I guess, the message of Coach Jerson Cabildes that, we were parang shorter end of the stick pagdating sa numbers against Nueva Ecija, pero they didn't have our hearts. And so that's where really the foundation has been for Coach Jerson Cabildes based on how they've been performing.
Senator Jinggoy Estrada is visibly exasperated at the sideline. And you ask why? Because San Juan, they gave up a basket and they are 2 out of 13 from the free throw line. It's the first double-digit lead in this series. Pangasinan with a 10-point advantage.
Ang ibig sabihin niya, 11 times napasimangon si Sen Jinggoy.
Soyu dere-derecho! Showing dexterity on that move.
Good finish right there by Soyud. I would have loved really for him to attack strong to the paint and not settle for those jumpers.
All of his 6 points coming here in the third. San Juan opting to play a zone here. Pass deflected by Raul Soyud.
Yeah, good deflect.
Soberano.
See how quickly they pick him up from 3. Nothing easy, just staying in front.
Attention to detail, on point, but not that time. Collado with a poor closeout and a 4-point play opportunity coming up for Nico Pangaliban.
That happened very near us. And he's just fortunate that there wasn't a landing spot called on him. I felt he had that right foot sticking on the landing area, diba? Of Nico Pangaliban. And that is the very first non-paint field goal make for the San Juan Knights here in the second half.
Pangaliban doesn't complete a 4-point play, but San Juan, in a matter of a minute, able to cut the lead in half. 5 straight points. Collado from the left corner. Binigay muna kay Alin Bulanadi. Corner exit for Ian Melencio. Swings it. Bongga Lanza. Catch and shoot free. It will bounce out. Manuel. Offensive rebound. Put back. And a bonus free throw coming up. Coming up rather after getting fouled.
He doesn't get so much of the defensive rebounds, really more of the offensive rebounding. And Vic Manuel, very close inside that paint. He gets that rebound, he'll get that 2 points as well.
The muscle man with a 3-point play opportunity. 28.9 seconds left. Free throws. Kung titignan mo sa Pangasinan, di rin naman ganun ka ganda, no? They're only 12 out of 23 after that miss. But San Juan, though, just putrid. 2 out of 13.
Well, those missed free throws are gonna haunt them in this game, regardless the result.
Yet they're still just down by 7. Panganiban. Kick out pass. Hugnatan, high arcing free. Off the heel. Still enough time for Pangasinan. Bulanadi will put up a shot off the glass and in!
Oh my God! These buzzer beaters by the Heat Waves.
Maging si Alin, natawa na lang sa kanyang nagawa doon. But was he able to get it off in time? Let's see.
May oras pa. Oh, very close, ah.
I think it was still in his hand.
Yeah, still in his hands.
This was close though.
Should not count.
Oh, nasa fingertips pa.
The fingertips pa yun.
That's close.
Indeed. Very close.
But boy, what a third quarter for Pangasinan here. I mean, they have answered every attempt by San Juan to come back in this game. In fact, even taking a 10-point lead. And they are the number 7 seed going up against the 3rd seed, San Juan. But riding high on that momentum with that really grueling series they had against Nueva Ecija.
Yes.
And ayun na nga, nasa kamay pa. That's why it will not count, unfortunately, for Alin Bulanadi. Highlights of the game brought to you by Sip Plus, the official hydration partner of the MPBL. Elevate your hydration.
Well, let's just say this was the Mike Mabula quarter when he scored a lot of points and did a lot of damage inside. But, you know, good wake up in the latter part of the third, where guys really stepped up for the San Juan Knights. Soyu did his thing. Nico Panganiban knocked down that 3 earlier. And Vic Manuel trying to show the way as well for the Heat Waves in the third quarter.
Heading into the fourth, they have a 7-point lead over the Knights, 49-42.
Back in Bangged, Abra, may pyesa, may magaling na coach. These were some things on the minds of all the opponents of Pangasinan since the start of the season. And although it wasn't a perfect regular season for them, it was just a matter of time till they got to this point. This is playoff Gerson, playoff Gabo, as you mentioned earlier, with some sprinkles of a muscle man, a Joray Napoles, a Bongga Lanza on top. But as we know, Coach Gerson, he erases everything after every round or series. And hey, we can't forget, this is also an old rivalry when he was still with Nueva Ecija. So again, expect emotions that would go with a major preparation for the Season 4 champion coach. And so far, so good. Ken, Coach Mike.
Maraming salamat, Mika. And to your point, I mean, it's been an up and down season for Pangasinan. But let's not forget, I mean, they were the 7th seed, Coach Mike. They're playing in the North Division. They finished the elimination round with a 20-9 record. 11 games above 500, and yet kinapos sila to make it, to get an outright entry into the playoffs.
They took the harder route getting here. Hindi automatic na pumasok sa playoffs, pumasok pa sa play-in. Had to go through 3 grueling games in the first round. And heck, those games that Mika mentioned, might as well call these guys the Avengers. I mean, really trying to avenge the season and get back a little bit better and finish up stronger, especially with your main man in Jerson Cabiltes leading the way.
Na-foul doon si Nico Pangasinan. He will earn himself 2 more free throws. Coach Jerson, like we said, under the microscope since last season. The disappointment of not making it to the playoffs in his first year with Pangasinan.
Yes.
And then, gaya nga ng binanggit ni Mika, sobrang daming talent na pinasok niya dito in their second season. But despite all that, dumaan pa sila sa play-in. They lost that game against Caloocan. Then, they were behind against Ilagan Isabela in that play-in game. But they were able to force overtime, pull through. And then against Nueva Ecija, they were the heavy underdogs. The very impressive Nueva Ecija Rice Vanguards, and yet Coach Jerson and the rest of the Pangasinan Heatwaves able to win in a place that for some other teams was just too tough, winning twice in Palayan City, and here against San Juan, they're making a good account of themselves. They have a 7-point lead, 51-44 here in the fourth quarter.
I still say that first round series by the Heatwaves against the Rice Vanguards had 2 key milestones. One, that buzzer beater, of course, by Hesid Gabo. You know what the second one is? Was that video of the family. Coach Jerson showed the players. That was totally out of nowhere and had a positive impact for the Heatwaves, which right now they continue to drop scores and points here against San Juan here in the game number 1 of round number 2.
Bulanadi streaks through for the basket. But still, for sure, they are really wary of this San Juan Knights team. Despite all their struggles, they're just behind by 6 after that 3 made by Nico Pangasinan.
And that's just the beauty. I mean, if you're the San Juan Knights, you've got enough 3-point shooters to knock him down. And Nico's hit a couple, and the AC's got to join those 3-pointers as well if you want to come back real quick in this match.
3-point shooting has been kind to San Juan, 7 out of 21.
Oh, he got beat. He got beat.
Melencio creating an impact off the bench as usual.
Heady player. If you ask me, Ian Melencio. He had an open shot, but expected that long closeout. He's got to run downhill and make that finish.
55-47. Pangasinan has come alive here in the fourth. Draws another foul against Pangasinan. It's against Jake Oliano. Fixer, great move of the game, born for greatness.
A little angle screen action right there of a good finish down the middle for Alin Bulanadi. Pero right now, it's the same thing that's being done by the San Juan Knights. A little angle screen and a middle ball action with the shooters located in the corners and the outside.
Wamar had to adjust his shot. He thought it got deflected. There might be a challenge by San Juan here. Coach Alex will challenge that last call, the out of bounds call. Dahil bola na ng Pangasinan. 7 minutes and 10 seconds left. Coach Alex Angeles uses his challenge. We'll be back for the result of this one.
Upon review, the challenge was inconclusive. Therefore, the challenge has been nullified. Initial ruling on the floor stays ball possession for the
Conclusive
Heatwaves.
challenge. So, call stands. But Coach Alex still has his challenge left in the event that he wants to use them later on. Pero ngayon, 8 puntos rather ang labang. Pa rin ng Pangasinan, 55-47. Victoria at the last second. Able to dish it out to Jory Napoles. Balik sa 10 ang lamang ng Pangasinan. Wamar.
Oh, wow.
Misfires from the outside. Rebound controlled by Alin Bulanadi.
He's now 0 out of 5 from 3. Itong si Orlan Wamar, and the struggle is real from the outside.
And Pangasinan is giving San Juan a dose of their own medicine in terms of shackling itong wing players, itong Knights. I mean, Soberano and Wamar have struggled mightily here.
And look at Ian Melencio, really just sticking a couple of steps away from Orlan Wamar off ball, enough for him to recover kung sakaling maswing yung bola sa side niya. But Orlan Wamar, 2 of 7 from 3 in game number 1. 1 of 5 is now 0 out of 5.
This play of the game is brought to you by 747 Live. Dito nga sa legit, your game, your chance, your thrill. Only with 747 Live.
And so what that tells you now, Ken, is that over the course of 3 games, Orlan Wamar is 3 out of 17 from the outside. Very unlikely, unlike the numbers of the usually efficient 3-point shooter in Orlan Wamar.
11 segundo sa shot clock nitong San Juan. Again, they've been undefeated here in the second round of the playoffs.
Nico's free right side. You can see him. It's the hottest hand.
That immaculate record on the line tonight. I mean, can you imagine 10-0 ka sa second round? Na one step higher, no, from the first round. That's how impressive San Juan has been over the last 6 to 7 years.
Oh, but I'm sure si Coach Gerson Cabiltes knows that this game is far from over. I mean, they won that game. As you see a 3-point make right there, and trims this down further. And you know, they came back. They were down what, 6 minutes remaining in regulation.
Saan nakikita mo, Coach Mike, hindi nila hinahayaan lumayo tong Pangasinan eh. I mean, the biggest lead was at 10 points a couple of times. And also, you do not really sense some panic dito sa San Juan, no? Despite the struggles they've been going through in this game.
And it really just goes back to their system of play. And they understand, you know, we're 2 possessions away, make that 3 possessions at most to get back and tie the lead, tie this game, or even get the lead. But they gotta play defense. Oh man.
Bulanadi gets to his spot. Able to connect on that mid-range jumper. Bulanadi with 4 points. All of them coming in the second half. 59-50 Pangasinan. As we're approaching the halfway point of the fourth. Panganiban fires from free. Can't back it home. Tapikan ng bola, mapupunta sa Pangasinan.
Yun na mismo ang plano nitong Heatwaves, in my opinion. Tumira na kayo sa labas. We're gonna make sure that lahat ng tiro niya sa threes is a challenge. And so far, you know, isa pa lang nakaka 3 points sa kanila here in the second half. Si Nico Panganiban pala.
Ball stolen away by the Knights. Puljar will pull it back out. Nice transition defense by the Heatwaves. Wamar, nice pass. Soyod, the extra feed to Aldrich Ramos.
It's the second pass that actually locates the least guarded guy, and so you're playing beautiful jumbo action, the action between 2 bigs with Aldrich Ramos. Oh, what a finish.
Nagawa ng paraan ni Jory Napoles. Bagsak si Raul Soyod. Napoles with 12 points.
Yan ang mahirap talaga pagka high rep yung action. Yung probability na tatama sa mukha yung extremities ng offensive player. See this right here. That was a high rip. Pero mukhang hindi naman, at least from that video, it's not a solid C. Tumama pa muna sa sa shoulder.
Jory Napoles continues his fine play.
But it did graze his cheek. Namumula rin yung pisngi ni Soyun. So mukhang may force din.
Siya pa rin ang kailangan ng bulin dito ng San Juan. 61-52. 4 minutes left here in the fourth.
Look at how they're sticking to Orlan Wamar. It almost looks like a boxing one.
Maikes, nagdalawang isip. Nakita niya may markado si Panganiban. And gets tagged with a dribbling violation.
Well, even the guy who's made the most threes, binabantayan na rin para dito sa San Juan Knights. And Nico's also a marked man now. So big question now is where would the points be coming from para dito sa San Juan Knights?
Napoles gets the friendly bounce. How about that for Jory Napoles?
And the guy's really just all over the place. Scored one earlier, then picks up this 50-50 ball, and just the presence of mind to quickly release it right in front of the rim.
Timeout San Juan. They're behind by 11.
Loyalty takes off at 747 Live. Get ready for first class perks like 5% slots daily cashback, 0.1% live casino daily rebate, 4% sports weekly cashback plus free spins on your birthday. The spin and bet gets you closer to rewards. Hope on Bird. 747 Live, dito ka sa legit.
Fan of the Game is brought to you by LGR, the official outfitter of the MPBL. And Pangasinan taking it right to San Juan right now. They're up by double figures. Good sized crowd inside the Governor Andres P. Bernos Memorial Gymnasium. San Juan, their immaculate record here in the second round, in peril here. And turnover again for the Knights, their 17th.
This really is, Ken, in my opinion, a matter of making those threes. And ayan na nga, no? Yung 17 turnovers na na-force sa San Juan nitong heat waves, resulting to 16 points. And when you look at their number of attempts from three, they normally would average roughly about 24 attempts from three, speaking of the Knights. They now have 26 attempts, but their makes are nowhere near from their usual numbers.
Wala nang 3 minuto na lalabi dito sa ating fourth period. Panganiban, nakasungkit ulit ng foul. The lone bright spot really for San Juan in this game. 2 free throws coming up for Nico Panganiban.
And I think that they'll be fine with Nico Panganiban scoring as long as everyone else does not. And you don't have a Mike Calisaan right now. Mike is roughly good for about 12 points per game. He's number 1 when it comes to points, 3rd when it comes to rebounds, 3rd when it comes to steals, and 2nd when it comes to minutes. And so, it's just a different dynamic if you don't have Mike Calisaan. And so now, the team's gotta be, the coaching staff of the San Juan Knights gotta be very creative as they try and find a way on how to offset that missing Mike Calisaan the next game.
2.5 remaining in the fourth quarter. Napoles, he misses, but the ball there finds Mike Mabulak, who cleans up his own miss. Mabulak and Napoles having themselves a scintillating second half for Pangasinan.
And so right now, it's the other guys for Coach Jerson Cabiltes that have really stepped up. And if this happens to be a defensive game for the Heat Waves, coming from where they were in that Nueva Ecija series, just proves the point. They definitely improved defensively come the playoffs.
We enter the last 2 minutes. Heat Waves up by 11. San Juan. Soberano finds a wide open Nico Panganiban for free.
Oh man,
15 points for Nico Panganiban.
you're still in this. You gotta get some stops and make your shots.
A minute and 30 left in the fourth. The ball will take his time. 7 seconds left on their shot clock. Kick out pass to Victoria. Got past Panganiban, floats it up. Left it short, Mabulak corrals the miss once more
Wow,
for the Heat Waves.
That was a big rebound for Mike Mabula.
Napoles makes his move, up fake. One-hander does not work. Panganiban in transition. Lost his dribble and Victoria comes away with a basketball. Bulanadi
Oh wow.
will burn some clock. 10 seconds left on the shot clock. Napoles, baseline drive! My goodness, Jorge Napoles! Right? That might just be the dagger. 16 points for Jorge.
A couple of opportunities would have been for the Knights to get back quickly the other end, but that rebound, that huge rebound by Mike Mabula, and then that good finish by Jorge Napoles with that left hand. You gotta hand it over to how these Heat Waves have played.
And they continue this impressive run, the Pangasinan Heat Waves. They take game number 1 of this best of 3 series against the mighty San Juan Knights. And boy, the hits continue for the Heat Waves here, Coach Mike.
And might I say, they've done this collectively on the defensive end of the floor. And you like that guys like Mike Mabula, Jorge Napoles, Bong Galanza, guys really just stepping up to the plate and understanding the mission is to get back into the finals this season.
First loss in the division semifinals for the San Juan Knights, 10-0 since the 2018-2019 Dato Cup. And they are on the brink of elimination. And also that record of 5 straight North Division Finals appearances in peril as a result of this win by Pangasinan. Best player of the game is powered by 747 Live. Play what you love, win what you deserve.
Well, Jorge Napoles, 16 points on a 50% shooting, making half of his 16 attempts, and going with 5 rebounds and a couple of assists without a turnover in all of the 20 minutes that he's played. And if that isn't excellence to you, then I don't know what is. Good job by Jorge Napoles.
Pangasinan beat San Juan 67-57 here in game number 1 of their series. And what an impressive performance for Pangasinan. Now let's go courtside to Miss Mika Bisamis.
Maraming salamat. Congratulations, Jory. Kilala naman natin si Coach Gerson. No? Pag nagtiwala yan sa player, dire-diretso na. At isa ka dun sa mga matinding pinagkakatiwalaan niya para sa series na to. At ngayong gabi, ikaw naman ang nag-deliver with 16 points and 5 rebounds. Kumusta ka?
Unang-una, nagpapasalamat kami kay Lord. Pero hindi pa tapos yung laban eh. Daming struggle sa practice, daming nagkakasakit. Especially si Coach Gerson, hindi siya makapagpaturo ng maayos. So ginagawa niya, cooperate lang kami lang nagtutulungan. So yun lang, ginawa namin yung ginagawa namin sa practice, and yung teammates ko, lahat naman kami nag-contribute mula sa coach, management. Kaya nakuha na sa amin siguro yung panalo.
Napag-usapan mo na hindi pa tapos pero importante palagi sa isang series to draw first blood, no? Nakuha nyo ngayong araw na to. Pero matanong ko sa'yo, kumusta yung naging laban mo against San Juan? Anong tingin mo sa kanila sa series na to?
Well, di biro yung San Juan kasi 2018 pa lang consistent na sila sa final. So yun ang naging namin inspirasyon para siguro makamit namin yung panalong to. So yun nga.
Maraming salamat, Jory. Meron ka ba mga gustong batiin at pasalamatan?
Unang-una, binabati ko yung mga boss namin na sumusuporta. Si Boss Governor Cueco, Boss Conrad Esquimo Estrella, Boss Congressman Art Celeste, Boss Mayor Brian Celeste, Boss Cesar Gamboa, Mayor Leon Cesar, Boss Robert Kai, Boss FJ, and siyempre sa mga sponsor namin, Boracay de la Ea and Comulaya. And of course, Uno Fitness Kenta. And maraming salamat sa mga sumusuporta sa mga taga Pangasinan, and binabati ko yung family ko dyan sa Kainta, si Jasmine, tsaka si Bibi ko yung Uno. At Napolis family sa Albay. Thank you.
Alright, maraming salamat, Joray Napoles. His best player of the game is powered by 747 Live. Play what you love, win what you deserve. Again, Coach Mike.
Maraming salamat, Mika. Congratulations to Joray Napoles. They are 1 game away from advancing to the North Division Finals. And up next, the number 4 seed, Caloocan, Batang Kakalu battle the talented Abra Solid North Weavers at home. Stick around, don't go away. We'll be back for more of the 2025 MPBL playoffs.